We have now on the line with us back on the lunchbox. He's a friend of the show. We've been into the Katherine to, see what it's all about, and apparently it's about a lot because it is ringing up all the accolades, and not just locally, but now with the National James Beard Foundation. We welcome back to the lunchbox James Beard Award semifinalist for Best Chef in the South, Timon Balloo. How are you today, Timon?
Great. Thank you so much for having me on the show. Hi, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Well, it's always good to have you back. We had a number of chats in the last week, and I know that this means a lot. Obviously for you personally, and your lovely wife Marissa, because this is a labor of love. But you've had this award. I mean, you've had this recognition before in the past in Miami because you're a talented chef. But what does it mean for you to do it here in Broward County, which sometimes gets overlooked in these types of, awards?
Well, it's always an honor. First of all, the stature of the award and the foundation and what it represents to our culinary industry. It is basically the Oscars and the Emmys of our industry. It's almost equivalent to that and the Olympics. You put it there, it's there. It's the organization is definitely just revered. It's so focused and centered around the culinary community, food policies, food change, chefs inclusion, what the world of cuisine is moving towards. So it's definitely the platform that chefs kind of measure and look up to. So this is our third accolade or acknowledgement. The first one was over 10 years ago when I opened Sugarcane, and we received a nom for Best New Restaurant.
Yep.
And I mean that was euphoric, but also 10 years ago. So as any of us professionals, just pushing and driving and still trying to accomplish so much in all of our industries and careers, it's rewarding for such a high entity to recognize that you are still doing it at such a high level. My second nomination came almost 3 years ago when I left Sugarcane to open my namesake Balloo restaurant, which was definitely a very strong statement piece, not only to the industry and the economics of what quote unquote corporate restaurants look like, but just from a statement of a chef artist in expression, for me to finally have confidence in my culture and my technique and my skill to express that restaurant. And so we got a nom there, and unfortunately we were shuttered due to COVID. So that was kind of like a slap in the face. And so you kind of wonder, honestly, we weren't trying to push for any award. We just humbly put our head down, and this namesake restaurant, now the Katherine, located on Broward Boulevard in Fort Lauderdale, was a testament of just finally coming home. If people don't know, and we're a new restaurant, we've actually resided in West Broward for over 20 plus years. I relocated from the San Francisco Bay Area to Lauderhill. I graduated Piper High School.
Oh, wow.
That's, University in 44th.
Yeah.
And my wife, Marissa Katherine, is a graduate of Western High School off of, 595 and 136.
Davy.
So
yeah.
as Davy, and we met at Sawgrass Mills Mall as teenagers, but a lot of teenagers do. They go to the mall. And, while chasing stature and just craftsmanship, it brought us all over the world and all over the country, residing and living multiple times in like New York and Las Vegas and abroad in Brussels, Belgium, and in London. And, all while still having, grandma and our parents here in West Broward. And for a long time, we never thought we'd open a restaurant here. But with the growth of the South Florida community, the beautiful diversity of cultures and, cool neighborhoods emerging, and the demand, people are becoming more cultural and globally aware that, honestly, also just for convenience. I don't think we all always want to feel like we have to, whether it's make the drive to Miami. We love Miami, and I hope to open soon back in Miami. Miami's always been good to me. But, I live in West Broward, and I'm older now. I have 2 kids, and on a weeknight, it's not so convenient to make the drive. So we wanted to open a restaurant that still evoked everything that we loved when we traveled to the Brooklyn, the Austin.
You guys have nailed it. You walk in there, it's that cozy little spot that has a soul. You could feel again, and you see the menu, and you see the influences of your heritage is coming through, and it's not a big corporate place like you find on Las Olas. It's a cozy spot that has maybe 40 seats with an eclectic menu that's ever changing based on seasonality and ingredients, and that's why I love him and I love eating there. And congratulations, and I want to just shower you with more praise. But I can't remember, and I know that Luby had a question for you, but I can't remember. I've been down here 30 something years. I only covered the food scene for like the last 8 of them, but I don't know the last time that a chef working at a Broward restaurant was recognized by the Beard Foundation. I know that chefs like Mark Militello, who first made their bones in Miami-Dade, would come up and open restaurants here, and they've won awards, James Beard Awards. But as far as like actively being in Broward and winning for a Broward restaurants, I don't know, and I'm not a historian. I don't know if anybody else knows out there, but congratulations to you, because Broward, we do get overlooked a lot, and like you mentioned, we are a melting pot, and I'm going to use the word even if Governor DeSantis doesn't want to say it, but we are woke here culinarily. We do embrace different cultures and diversity, and I'm off my soapbox now, but I just want to say congratulations again. And Luby, you had a question for.
Well, I just want to say, I didn't even realize I'm a Piper alum as well. So we have another tremendous.
Oh, so cool.
Yeah, we have a bunch of great Piper alums. Cool that Timon is one of those. I find it interesting because and when I travel a lot too, when we refer to South Florida, we really refer to Miami and South Florida as being synonymous. But I always found that weird because I remember growing up, like Fort Lauderdale wasn't nothing. We weren't potato, like it was a big deal when I was growing up. So I was always curious, when will Fort Lauderdale get their due? And it feels like, thanks to you, what Visit Lauderdale is doing, you guys are really carrying our banner. Was it important for you to show what Broward was and what Broward could be when it comes to the restaurant scene?
I mean, it's huge. I mean, I'm proving that by financially putting my money where my mouth is, and starting an endeavor here. I see there's great potential. I agree with you 1,000%. I think that just when people say I'm going to New York, you don't say you're going to Long Island. You just say people just think those type of things. That when they say South Florida, they just always think Miami. Even when your friends come visit, they just assume you live by South Beach. But I think. This is a great neighborhood. It's a great city. There's so much on the rise, so much potential. And by all means, you guys know better than me. I'm super honored, and I think the feeling is mutual. The respect I have for you guys and pioneering the food culture and food scene. Mike and I just literally said, hey, we should go eat together, because I know there's so many places that he will teach me about this neighborhood that I'm unaware of. And I think that's really the moral of the story here. Whether it's, we have to populate our city with cool stuff to do that the city and the community continues to love and ambassador and pioneer it. And that will eventually put us on that same type of platform. When people recognize this region, there's more than just one place they identify it with. And that's just because we'll have cool things to do. I know everyone's coming up to see the performing arts, and I think there's a show running right now, Tina, right? And I hear so many people with great accessibility and as well as like the Bright Line. I always hear people saying how cool and convenient it is, not just to go south on the Bright Line, but to take the Bright Line north to Fort Lauderdale and come up for a quote unquote
and West Palm Beach too.
Exactly.
And speaking of which,
I think it's just time.
Yeah, it is time. Deefa, I'm going to let you get in a question, but first, I just did want to, just mention that, it wasn't just Timon and the Katherine restaurant, which, by the way, is located at 723 East Broward Boulevard. It's right there downtown at that big intersection of basically Broward Boulevard and US 1. And I think the tunnel is back open again, so people can actually get around downtown, which is good. But they were one of 14 South Florida restaurants, chefs, honored by the beards, and a lot of them were in national categories, which is great to see. But I just want to kind of give a shout out to the other five. Actually, multiple. There was some couples of brothers and sisters, but those that were also nominated in semifinalists in the best chef in the South, besides Timon Balloo at the Katherine in Fort Lauderdale, was Jeremy and Cynthia Bierman at Oceano Kitchen in Lantana, and they're a great couple. And also we've got the Fernando, Nando, and Valerie Chang, the Chang Gang, who are just doing great stuff down at Itame. That's that Nikkei, the combination Peruvian Japanese restaurant and down in the Design District of Miami. Rick Mace at Tropical Smokehouse in West Palm Beach. Pushkar Marath, who's my man at Stage in Palm Beach Gardens, and Pushkar also has a lot of Broward roots. He started off here at the great Marriott at the Harbor Beach with Dean James Max and that whole crew, and then of course there's also Lojo Washington at Queen of Sheba restaurant, West Palm Beach, which I didn't even realize reopened. It's an Ethiopian joint and only one of two Ethiopian restaurants, full scale restaurants in a area like South Florida of 6 million, which is astounding. But she got recognized for reopening Queen of Sheba in West Palm Beach, and all kudos to them. And I'll let Defo finally get a word in edgewise. Did you have a question for the chef?
Oh yeah, no, curious about a couple of things. Well, I mean, an actor or actress wins the Oscar, and all of a sudden they're offered all kinds of things. Their business picks up exponentially. Does the Beard Award have that kind of impact on a restaurant? And secondly, having been friends for a long time with Chef Oliver Saucy at the Cafe Max. And socialize with him. If he's coming to a party, everybody's asking each other, is he going to bring the caviar pie? So is there a dish that when you're socializing and you're bringing something to the table, maybe everybody's bringing a little something? I mean, what are the expectations from a James Beard Award-winning chef?
Oh, wow. That's a great question, huh?
Because if he doesn't bring the caviar pie, everybody's like, "Oh, okay, Oliver. We'll talk to you later." I mean, it's that kind of thing.
They're all mad.
Yeah, I don't know what they expect from me. I think they just expect me to cook. And,
Yeah.
if I'm saying
Nothing fancy, though,
everyone just says, "Okay,
Yeah.
then we don't have to cook. At least there's a chef coming." I mean, I don't think there's one dish. I try to honestly, people that know me, outside of the restaurant, as hard as I work, I play harder. So I'm usually the one bringing the alcohol, to be honest. And usually that doesn't piss anybody off.
Right.
So it's a win-win around everyone, around the table per se. And honestly, I enjoy when I don't have to cook, and I don't care what my friends make. I'm just happy that they're cooking and I'm not, so it's a simple trade-off. I'll bring the wine, you take care of the food, and it's chef's night off. So,
beautiful.
Anybody who's with that is a friend of mine.
That's smart.
Well, it sounds I'm always up for anybody who brings wine, and then I don't care about if you could even bring Skyline chili, which I know is Defoe's favorite. Have you ever tried Skyline chili? I asked this of all the big chefs, and it drives Defoe crazy. Are you a thumbs up or thumbs down of Skyline chili?
Oh my God.
So I'm going to be completely honest with you. I passed by it for years
right by
on
Piper.
University Boulevard.
Right by Piper.
Yep, and I never tried it, but I knew it. And then it wasn't
Smart
until
man.
maybe 5.
That's going to be one of our stops, Timon. We're going to go on our food tour up and down.
I want to take mayo and Timon.
I think it's better as a Jiffy Lube, that location. And as far as taste goes.
5 years ago, I just tried it though.
Oh, you
I
did?
just finally bit the bullet and went in. Yeah. And
what?
it was a total. It was a total new thing to me because I wasn't aware of this technique or style. I guess it's like a Cincinnati style.
Yeah, it's called
chili,
Cincinnati chili. It's like a Greek spaghetti with like a Greek meat sauce. It's totally a misnomer to call it chili, and it's really good before colonoscopies because it'll clean out your insides. So.
You can say it's horrible, Chef. I mean, it's okay.
If you like,
Mayo's the only defender here on the show.
I didn't say that. Yeah, I didn't answer that. I just confessed that we went in and we tried it after many years. and I will say it was interesting.
Yeah. The transition
It's-
was a natural one to a lubrication place. For an
It's
entree.
one of
Yeah.
my guilty pleasures. I love it as a drunk food or a hangover food, and that's all I'm going to say about that. Let's get on to other things. So, a lot is made about these beard awards, and obviously the Michelin Guide now that it's in Miami, if not all the way up here yet. Number one, is too much made of all these things. Number two, is that only what people who haven't won yet say?
I don't think too much is made of these quote unquote these things. I think they were some of the original grading structures and tiers. I remember as a young chef growing up in hotels, we were it was mandatory to try to get a mobile AAA or a 5-star 5 diamond. Yeah, the mobile guide, and those were like some of the requirements that this anchored the success of your unit. And before all of this Yelp platforms and so forth, these were the accredited authorities, as well as you. I have to note and pause and say how fond and my appreciation for you for your years of writing as a food critic at the Sun Sentinel. Chefs and restaurateurs would wait to read the paper, and it would be the first thing you run and do to see what restaurants were reviewed. So you guys were authorities, and as well as like Michelin for many years in Europe before it came to the States, and the James Beard acknowledging all throughout the North America. These are these formidable, credited institutions that can make and break your restaurant. All of them are, they review positively, not like from a newspaper standpoint of reviews, but these are just, industry acknowledgments. And
right.
They're saying that these people are making a statement. They're doing it at a very high level, and whatever they receive, whether you win a Beard Award or you're accredited in the Michelin sector as a Beat Gourmand or 1-star, 2-star, 3-star, it is definitely defining that you are an industry leader.
Right.
You perform at a very high level, and it's worth someone traveling to go see what you're doing and giving you an opportunity.
I appreciate that response. And I would think that Beard, because it's, committees of people that are in the industry and peers, that it would mean a lot. And a goal. It's a recognizing things just beyond the kitchen, like charitable work and community outreach. And you've done all that with the No Kid Hungry program, which is tremendous. Michelin, I find a little bit more mysterious. You don't know who the reviewers are. I'm not one of them. They've never asked me because probably I eat at Skyline Chili. But just you don't know who they are, and it seems pay to play in that they're only going to places where now they're getting paid by the local tourism boards to come in and offset expenses. So I don't know. Does that matter to you, or you just think either one? Again, it's just highlighting fine dining and good cuisine, and so anything that kind of heightens awareness is a good thing.
Yes, you finish with my position. Anything that heightens awareness is a good thing. I don't like to dive too much into the politics of it, only because I do believe everything is a little bit misconstrued and it can be perceived either way. I've spent so much of my life and dedication and sacrifices of my friends and family to this industry that I do believe any awareness is important just for our culture, and that goes back to the growth of this city, and the growth of Miami. For us to have the amount of nominees in this region, that's a testament, because as you say, as long as it's been since Broward or Fort Lauderdale received a nominee, I remember the days when there was really just quote unquote the Mango Gang of South Florida bringing national attention to this region. Like you said, the Mark Militellos, the Alan Susser, the Norman Van Aken, Oliver Stock.
And they're all great. They're all great. But now more people are getting recognized.
But that was a period of time when South Florida had probably one of its largest culinary booms, and then it deflated for a while, and then you saw the beautiful Michelle Bernstein and Michael Schwartz come back and reinvigorate it. And now there's a whole slew of young generation of chefs doing exciting things culinary-wise, but just economically bringing culture to their communities and their cities. And I think ultimately the importance is that our patrons, the people that reside here, support those businesses, patron those businesses, and then our communities will grow culturally.
Yeah, it's going to keep growing, and again, I'm going to give props now, like you mentioned, some of the I guess we call them legends now, but they have also been recognized this year on the national level from South Florida. People like Michelle Bernstein for her Cafe La Trova, which is recognized as outstanding bar, and also Michael Schwartz, Michael's Genuine Kitchen. All these years later, he's been nominated as outstanding chef in a national category, and then. My friend, I assume yours too, Mike Beltran, who's just absolutely killing it at Ariat in Coconut Grove, also recognized, and that's in line for outstanding restaurant. He's just the way that restaurant and his program has grown there. It's just incredible where he's embraced his Cuban heritage and also, but incorporating it with the fine dining and the French technique and the duck press and all these things. I could go on just extolling the virtues of our growing food scene and. But I'm going to let Luby chime in now because I think he has an ask. Is that true?
Not exactly an ask. I'm going to try and show Mayo how to do it because he was totally egregious in what he did. Sliding. We've heard the term sliding into the DMs. I've never heard someone sliding into the DMs for their ex-wife's birthday, but
50th. It was a big birthday, and I got to treat
it. Was like clunky. So I'm going to do this, and hopefully it's not clunky, but we'll see. I'm going to be self-indulgent. When we went out there, we went to the Katherine, and the vibe was ridiculous, and it just felt like the kind of place I'm really ecstatic that we're having down here in Fort Lauderdale. And I've been wanting to get out there. And my wife loves what's cool about the way you and your wife described what you do is you have favorites that people will come and they'll get frustrated because you are very creative and original and you like doing new things. So you've grown to embrace the things people like, but also you're going to throw some stuff out there every time, which I think is super cool. And my wife's a big fan of that. We haven't been out there yet. It's her birthday this week. I'm trying to figure out what's a good day to go out there because you guys, I thought you were just a weekday spot.
There's the ask. He's looking to get in there sometime this week. What do you think?
What freebies can you accommodate Luby with?
Like what's different? Like with what you do. Good
question, Luby.
Katherine, to be brutally honest, because I know you do a lot of mainstays that people love, but you're also creative with the things you do at the Katherine.
I feel like this is a loaded question, but
in other words, can you throw him an appetizer or two when he brings his wife in?
Listen, first of all, we'd love to have you, and at the end of the day, regardless of the nominations and so forth, we consider ourselves, I call it a new American table. I think this is the way America is eating now. We're so, we are all becoming so cultured and knowledgeable and different flavors, and you could see kids in Middle America wearing a Sriracha t-shirt. Sriracha's not so foreign anymore. So we do those little things, but we're a neighborhood restaurant. We want to always be nostalgic for that with a little bit of elevation, whether it's our low ABV wines and cocktails, or our things like a simple clam chowder fry. It's a simple thing of what growing up in the San Francisco Bay Area. I loved clam chowder in the sourdough bowl, but Katherine loved fries, and so it was kind of like our version of don't put potatoes in the chowder. I'd rather have French fries to dip it in instead of bread. Some people geek out on that, but people relate to it as, hey, it's kind of like poutine, or hey, it's kind of like mole frites. It's not that far fetched, but it has some similarities that we can all connect with. And couple that in a cool setting, unpretentious environment. I think we can all relate to that. It's still like Fort Lauderdale in the sense where I live in shorts and sandals. That's what I love about living in Broward. It's kind of no fuss, no mess. But I don't want to eat garbage or feel like I'm going to the same type of chain restaurant. I want a message in the story, and I'm excited to see more and more places opening up like that. So I guess the best I come is.
That's it. You still got the chicken thighs on the menu? Is that a mainstay?
I still have the jerk chicken thighs on the menu. Nice. Chicken thighs are one of my favorite cuts to use. I just love how juicy the thighs are. We do boneless, and we marinate it 24 hours in a beautiful Caribbean jerk marinade, and we grill that and serve it over a kale callaloo. And for people that don't know, callaloo is kind of a version of a creamed spinach. but we don't use cream. We use coconut milk. So everything you love about cream spinach, which I love from steakhouses, we kind of do our own Caribbean version of it.
Nice.
And we put these beautiful chicken thighs on top of that, and you have this beautiful decadent dish that, you know, everyone knows chicken, everyone kind of knows cream spinach, but we do our version of it. And I think that's the nuances of what we do at the Katherine that's yielded us to be successful. We're just trying to relate to everyone in this modern day, cook some exciting food, and we're happy to be home. And it means the world if our community supports us. And I think it's we're adding to the beauty of Fort Lauderdale and Broward County. And again, the beauty of South Florida. Look at, like you said, Michelin's here. We're being recognized as, you know, one of the top cities in the country and the world, and that's come a long way. And it takes all of us as a community to get there. You know, thank you for everyone's support. Thank you for you guys to preaching the message. And again, all in all, what does the award mean? That we're just humbled and honored.
And Luby, for your edification, I'm on this incredible thing called the internet right now. And if I look at Resi, Saturday night, 6:45.
I know.
Yeah,
I'm going to go online to do it.
Okay. I didn't know what date and time, but I'm sure
it's a day that he's going to do this or that, because his wife was actually frustrated because people will come in asking for things. And I'll never forget her face when she's like, and he's so creative. But the problem is people love the stuff we do, so they'll come in asking for it. And he just says, no, I'm not doing that today. So I'm like, okay, is there a day, like what day? Like I legitimately was curious.
What I want people to fall in love with is the energy when you are there. Yeah. Listen, you know, I don't know when you grew up, but when I grew up, I couldn't always ask my mom to make something. You had to eat what mom gave you. You know what I mean? And just know it was made with love and for sustenance. And that's kind of like what we embody. You're not coming to a restaurant specifically for a dish. I know that doesn't make total sense. Just know everything is good, and you come for Katherine vibes and our energy, and that's what you're going to come back over and over.
When's the actual birthday, Luby? I'll put her in the books now, right?
It's Thursday.
Thursday. You want to go in there Friday?
No. I was thinking Friday or Saturday. You know, make it a weekend date night kind of a thing.
We'll figure it out. Throw Shirley a piece of cake. She's a lovely woman. All right.
Timon, you're the man.
All right. Was there anything else, gentlemen, or are we going to let him go? He's a very busy man. You know, he's a James Beard Award nominee. So. No, Timon, it's always a pleasure. Thanks for indulging us in all our nonsense. I hope to get in there soon. I've been meaning to. It's just you're operating on the humane schedule, right? It's Wednesday through Sunday, so you're closed Monday, Tuesday. Is that correct?
Yeah, we're closed Monday, Tuesdays. We're open Wednesday through Saturday, dinner only from 5 to 10. And then Sunday, we just launched brunch.
Oh, wow.
So, with the first of the year, we also launched brunch. So it's really exciting time to come during the daytime hours to get our version of how we view eggs and those decadent, you know, gluttonous type things. And you'll see some secret menu items there, like a hot truffle mortadella sandwich, like my version of a hot bologna, to beautiful shrimp and grits and
nice.
And
that's newsy. I did not realize that you had the brunch service going. And wait, I'm sorry, I interrupted. So tell me some more things so I could start salivating.
I was like shrimp and grits. I was like, I may go Sunday.
Well, I mean, we love the quintessential shrimp and grits. We do a Thai style version where it's in a Thai coconut curry over beautiful creamy polenta. I do this beautiful slow braised short rib, braised steak and eggs over some beautiful polenta. I always love our timeless, good old classic burger, 2 double patties with our secret blend, our version of the quintessential, golden arches and that beautiful tangy sauce and house cut fries. And
sounds good.
Listen, keep it simple and do it right. That's all you can do.
Tell you what, I want to see how you view eggs, because I view it now with a calculator and my home equity line of credit, because they're so damn expensive. But I'd be interested to eat one of your egg dishes, and we'll come up with the money somehow. Anyway, we really appreciate your time. It's always a pleasure. We'll have to get in there again soon. I mean, I got to get in there to eat. But maybe we'll do a remote show one of these months coming up soon, and we'll get in there, and hopefully after you've taken home all the hardware and get to the next level, but we'll see. Anyway, it's great to be recognized, and all the chefs down here are just doing some tremendous work in the James Beard Foundation. It's great to see that they're here. Did you realize, I guess the president is actually living down here in Wilton Manors now? Did you know that? Have you met the gentleman?
Lucky enough, yeah. I think, yeah, we found that out. And, we're lucky that South Florida is so good. We're getting like,
yeah, no, it's better.
Love it, just moving.
If some of the movers and shakers in the industry get off that little island of Manhattan and go about and about, and they see that there's a whole other world that's developing here. All right, Timon.
South Florida.
That's it. Yeah, it's all
And
good.
thank you.
All right, we got to go. We got to do some business. We got to get some commercials in. I can't believe we already yapped the whole hour. Thanks again. Say hi to Marissa, and you'll see Luby and Shirley very soon. I might pop in for a Sunday brunch soon too. So that sounds great.